in energy, we're a retailer. It is our job to push prices down in the supply chain. And if that means, taking the very big producers to task and working hard to squeeze them to be more efficient so we can pass lower prices to customers, that is our job. It is not to be a cozy club where we're all friends, because that ain't going to serve customers.
The benefits of going to zonal pricing seem very large, and therefore, by virtue of basically the fact it delivers lower cost electricity to consumers. And we're talking essentially every week we don't implement zonal pricing, it's £80 million probably consumers have to pay over the longer term. So every week we delay, that's another £80 million. And it's not like there's anything else out there being proposed by anybody else to mitigate the problems of the current electricity market design. So, I mean, it would seem strange if they didn't go for it. But, as Greg has alluded to, there are a lot of participants out there that benefit from the current arrangements and have been strongly arguing the case for the maintenance of the status quo or some variant of that. So those are the assumptions we used, and that allows us to calculate the benefits and how much constraint costs or congestion costs would fall if we moved to zonal pricing. We found that they would fall by about 80% year on year. And because of the way the system is more efficiently operated, because we're sending the right price signals to the interconnectors and to the batteries and other sources of demand flexibility, we found we could deliver about £3.7 billion a year of saving to consumers. Add that up over 20 years, and then you get to about over 52, 55 billion pounds of savings.
These efficiency savings are so great that prices can be cut everywhere in Great Britain. There's a sort of a bit of a myth. In fact, I've seen it on the front page of a newspaper. The zonal pricing would push up prices in the southeast. But the reality is, today, the southeast are paying for all of this inefficiency alongside everyone else. And if we stop paying for the inefficiency, the savings are so great that they can be distributed in order to cut bills everywhere. I cannot tell you the number of times recently, the last few months, I've had conversations with people who are publicly extremely vocal against zonal pricing, that within 2 minutes of a conversation, it was quite clear they didn't understand it. Right. One of them saying, well, you can't shift all the factories to Scotland. We don't need to shift a single factory because the system efficiency improves by 3.7 billion a year, enabling everyone to save. So I think one of the interesting things when you see these is companies dig their trench and jump in them without realizing what they're fighting. In fact, one of them said to me, it's someone who just stepped down from being chief executive of a large organization in this sector, said, we used to oppose every reform because the existing market worked just fine for us. And you see a lot of that.
Yeah.